So this morning I wanted to talk to you about beauty. I was having a really interesting chat with my friend today about how I was watching a show on YouTube where there's this family, and the wife she's just really pretty, just naturally really pretty. And I found myself, while I was watching, every time it'd be kind of a close-up on her face, I'd think to myself, she is so pretty. And I started to notice that inside myself, I was liking her more, and I was becoming more and more open to hearing what she had to say and her opinions, and like wondering what her opinions were on certain subjects. And I started to think, why do we do that with people that we find attractive? Why is it that when we think someone is pretty or handsome, or they look well put together, why are we more open to listening to them? And that kind of bothered me, and I started trying to think through it. So, what's the most important thing we can ever possibly ask? What does the Bible say about that? We can't see people's hearts. When we first meet someone, we can't tell, that person really actually is very selfish and mean. If you spend any time with them, you'll find that out. But God he already knows this. But we might see them and they might have this face on where they're being nice to people for some reason at that point. And you don't know. All you see is they look nice. Are we allowed to look pretty? Girls have something inside of them. We want to look pretty. We want to dress up. We want to be noticed. You'd never have to train a little girl to put on this pretty princess dress and twirl around in front of her dad and say, "Look at me, Daddy, look at me. Am I pretty?" You never have to train a girl to do that. Not every girl does. Some are really tomboys, but it's natural. It's part of us. So are we allowed to look beautiful? Or should we only focus on making our inner person beautiful? Well, what does the Bible say about that? So we see there, it's really important to God. It's most important to God what's going on inside of us. There are people who have birth defects or were burned severely, and we wouldn't look at them and say right off the bat, that's a beautiful person. They don't physically perhaps look beautiful, but when you get to know them, when you see their spirit, when you see that they're kind, when you see that they love the Lord, when you see that they're just gentle and so sweet, you can tell this is a beautiful, beautiful person inside, but it takes more time to get to know them and to see that. And the verse says, "Don't let your beauty come from braiding the hair, wearing gold jewelry." So then we come to the question. Yes, we know it's important to God, most important to God, that what's inside of us is beautiful. But are we allowed to braid our hair? Are we allowed to put on makeup? Are we allowed to put on jewelry and all that? I believe the answer to that is yes. The Bible talks in a lot of places about God being beautiful, and God is a God of order, and He created a lot of beautiful. If God didn't care about beautiful things, there's no reason for there to be beauty anywhere. He created beauty. He is beautiful. It's part of who He is. And when we put ourselves together in a way that is orderly and beautiful, we are we're reflecting part of His character. In Proverbs, when it talks about the virtuous woman, it says that she clothes her family in scarlet and she can laugh at the days to come. What that's really talking about is that she can take care of her family. They're not going to freeze to death, is really what it's saying there. But she could keep them from freezing to death with brown wool. Why scarlet? There's nothing wrong with wearing beautiful things. When God told Moses to get everything ready for the tabernacle, He told them what to make for the priests, what they should wear and everything. And it actually says, make tunics for them make hats for them, make sashes for them, for glory and for beauty. And so this idea that we need to not wear fashionable things, that we shouldn't wear makeup or jewelry, and that's somehow more holy, I don't agree with that. So back to my original question, why do we pay more attention to people who look attractive to us than otherwise? And I think part of the answer to that question is when a person looks beautiful and orderly on the outside, you begin to assume they must be beautiful and orderly on the inside as well. And we want to pay attention to, we're more likely to pay attention to what they have to say. And whether or not you think that's right or wrong, that is an argument for why Christians should put some thought into their appearance. Because whether or not you think it's fair or right, the world looks on your outward appearance. And do you want to put a stumbling block in front of them to listening to your testimony? If you want someone to not have any distractions in listening to what you have to say about your love for Jesus, then why would you either dress unattractively or dress in a way that's garish and just distracting, or would make them think this person is crazy? So that's free. So is it all right for us to be beautiful? Yes. In fact, I would say God made you beautiful. Whether or not you think you're the stereotypical beautiful, you're beautiful. Most importantly, on the inside, we can be working on that, our beauty. But God made you. You know, in the Psalms, David says, I am wonderfully, intricately made. God knows every tiny bit of you. He decided each bit because He wanted you to look that way. He had a purpose for this. And there are no girls out there who can't be beautiful. And it's not all, you know, slathering on tons and tons of makeup. Sometimes it's just upping the presentation a little bit, just enhancing what you already have. Because honestly, nobody wakes up looking gorgeous. Nobody. Not Tyra Banks, not Jennifer Lopez, not nobody. So that's part one. Can we look beautiful? Is it okay? Does God want us to look beautiful? Yes, go for it.